All right, commas with and, right? So we remember we put a comma in front of if it's connecting clauses, we put a comma in front of and if what occurs after it could stand on its own as a sentence, an independent clause, right? Okay, so one thing that's going to make this a little bit trickier, right? So one thing you'll notice here, it's like the government's communications director, comma, Marta Rodriguez, right? So this comma is like actually going to this, right? So it's like the government's communication director, or these commas would be going to this name, right? So it's like the communications director received an award for outstanding service, and, right, then we have in a positive comma here, right, and, right, for her work in the community, right? So this, like, and for her work in the community, right? So, because basically, let's just say, basically we're saying she received an award for outstanding service and a street was named after her. So we could technically take this out of the sentence. So I'm going to want a comma, I'm going to want this commas around this and this for her work in the community because it's a positive, right? So B does not have that, right? We'd want to have this taken out. That doesn't have this. C also doesn't have these commas, so I'm going to get rid of C for that reason, right? Now it's whether or not we also need a comma in front of the word and, right? And we put a comma in front of this word and if what's after it, right? Not this clause, right? Because that's just dependent, shoved in the middle, right? This a street was named in her honor, right? This is an independent clause, so we would need this comma and here. It looks really weird to put and in a set of commas, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to put commas around and like it's a positive, like in a positive commas around and. But what we have is, right, this like dependent clause in the middle, right, for her work, and we would have, you know, she received an award for outstanding service, comma, and because a street was named after her is independent, so we'd be left with answer choice D. So we are going to have the comma around this word and, even though the commas technically aren't going to just this. It's going to this, saying that after this is going to be an independent clause, and these sets of commas are going to this being dependent in the middle.